My mic.
What's up, kings and queens? This is not an episode of Goals First. This is my first ever live stream. Greg Lurik, official, sent me. Is that the channel name now?
It's the Greg Show, but you can call me Greg Lurik official.
But the channel is the Greg Show.
It's the Greg Show.
Greg, is that the channel name or is it the show?
Yeah,
name?
the Greg Show is the channel name.
Are you sure?
Check my channel. Yeah.
Are you HIV positive?
Whoa.
No
comment.
Whoa, buddy. Long pause. Anyway, we did it. I think we're live. We have one viewer, which is probably you.
Which is probably you. Yeah.
Wow, this is so much better than Skype. I'm glad I didn't do Skype.
I told you, man. That's what Alex uses for his stuff. For podcasts and shit. Yeah, it's really good, man. I like it. StreamYard, I use it all the time.
You want to just let me see if this guy's cool if you join the podcast. Maybe you just hang up. What's up, dude? Do you want to join it?
Sure. We're doing a trifecta. I'm down. How's my sound? Is it good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure my grain is high. Yeah, I'm down. What are you guys talking about? Like red pill stuff?
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna drop once you do your podcast, I'm gonna drop it from my channel too, so we can get some more viewers. We can even double stream. Do you want to double stream?
I think that's not overcomplicated.
No. You stream and I stream, just my viewers. Okay, because I'm trying to get you more viewers. We can get like way more viewers.
If you know how to do it, go ahead.
I'm trying to get you more clout, bruh. Okay.
Is there a way I can edit it after the fact? I can download it.
Yeah. So it'll pop up in like your YouTube. You can either edit it through Creator Studio afterwards. But Creator Studio, you know how to get into Creator Studio? I'll have to show you later. Okay. That's how I edit is through Creator Studio. Okay.
I'm happy now, man. I'm a happy camper.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, this is the shit. I gotta follow this chick back on Instagram.
All right. Oh, let me close the door, Jake's fucking talking to the light.
Gotcha. So fill me in on the topics ahead of time.
So his channel is Honest Man. I mean, it's kind of going to be very holistic. Like, I'm not really thinking that deep into it.
No, it's okay. Just so I know, like, what's going on.
Yeah, he runs a channel called Honest Masculinity, I think is the name. And I'm going to let him speak for himself.
Okay.
His name's Arthur.
Yeah, that's fine. So it's like red pill, black pill, right? Or
you can ask him.
Okay. I mean, you know him better than I do, but I got you.
We're going to find out what pill he is. Let me do that.
We're going to find out what pill he is.
I'll navigate it so you can ask some questions and I can ask some questions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I'm going to, it's your podcast. You can run it however you want it. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just on here for the ride. Yeah.
This is a game changer for me to be live right now. You don't understand.
It is a game changer, bro. I'm telling you. If at some point, though, I have to go away from the keyboard just because my grandma's being brought in. So, like, you might see me go AFK. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Okay. I don't know what time they're actually going to bring her. I said 3:30, but they could be late as fuck. So, amber lamps. Let me see something. Here, while you're doing this, it's going to be right here, right? I'm going to post the StreamYard link for my people.
Whatever you want to do, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, we're going to double stream this. It's going to be easier.
Ooh, a double stream. That sounds...
Double penetration.
Whoa. My channel's PG. Let's keep it PG.
I don't know about that, bro.
I'm in the market for jobs. And
I'm rated RKO, baby.
Uh-oh. Full disclaimer, I did not condone the words of my...
You could censor this. You can censor this.
I don't censor. Just know
it's come on.
My guest words are not representative of me. I'm my own human.
Disclaimer. Disclaimer. Okay. Oh, you got the ring light. Nice.
Hey, what's up, Arthur?
Yo, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What up?
Welcome. This is Greg with me.
What's up? Yeah, let me change my name actually.
So I
Nice to
ended
meet
up.
you.
Nice to
Um,
meet you, man.
he does YouTube himself. He's more like a red pill community type of
I
guy.
would say I'm like red and
Oh,
black
dude,
pill
I
kind
was
of.
just watching Andrew Tate motivational videos, so perfect. Now we've got a red pill guy here.
Um,
I'm like red and black pill. I wouldn't say I'm full red pill. I just, I'm like mixed pill. That's the best way I can categorize myself. Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious what that means.
we'll dive in that, but let me do the intro real quick. I'm gonna probably cut
Yeah.
back first
Okay.
half of me and Greg talking for 5 minutes. But anyway,
Sure.
welcome to Goals First. My name is Plutus. I'm your host, and welcome Kings and Queens. We have a great show for you today. We have Arthur, who it's Honest Masculinity is your channel, right?
Yes, exactly.
And we have the Greg show. And originally, me and Arthur were gonna pre-record this on like Skype, and I had 1,000 technical difficulties. And I talked to Greg, and now here I am on StreamYard for the first time, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, I guess why don't we start off with each of you telling a little bit about what you do and your channel does.
Yeah, you can start with Arthur since he's your main guest.
All right, cool. So my channel is called Honest Masculinity. It's also the name of my business. It's basically personal development business for men, and I do a bunch of different things there. I mean, I started doing it with dating coachings, so I started teaching men like classical pickup stuff, talking to women in public, approaching men under any circumstance you want. And then, I got more into like personal development kind of self-improvement with time, which is also a lot of times I help men meet women and all of that, but it's a bit deeper now where, it's about getting you your best version, get what you want in life, heal emotional wounds that that prevent you from doing that, because a lot of times and I feel like this is totally missing in red pill sphere, for example. A lot of people develop mindsets in their childhood or something because they experience something traumatic that makes them believe they suck, they're not good enough for success, whatever, or whatever. If it's a partner what they want, if it's starting the business that they want, they simply think they don't deserve it. So they stay in something, in a job they hate, in a relationship they hate, hanging out with friends that are not good for them, on the contrary, like pulling them down. And when you start healing those wounds, you will get to a place where you deserve what you want if you're willing to put the effort. And obviously you have to make sacrifice. You can't just like have a multi-million-dollar business just because you want. Like, you have to work for it a lot and shit. But if you're willing to make the necessary sacrifices, you deserve it. And so that's kind of what I do. I help men achieve what I want in dating, relationships, and life, basically.
Beautiful. Greg, what do you do?
Yeah, so I'll give a brief intro. So for all you guys that don't know, I'm the Greg Show. I kind of just started around like running like a random channel for like kind of like as a joke, but then I decided I'm gonna have more of a theme on my channel. So I follow like red pill concepts. I follow like black pill a little bit in terms of like looks kind of matter, but they're not like everything. It's like physical attraction is part of the equation, and then there's like the inner attraction stuff like that. I do like jiu-jitsu content, boxing, and fitness content. And shout out to my boy Alex from Playing with Fire, one of the best dating coaches. I'm not sponsored, but yeah, shameless plug. If you guys want to check him out, it's Playing with Fire channel, and he gives like really good dating advice. But yeah,
cool. My main objective today is to kind of dive into what Arthur does, the concept of honest masculinity, and just talk a little bit about the red pill, blue pill, whatever, kind of wherever it goes. I think that we all have interesting backgrounds. I thought it'd be fun just to kind of hop on. Like sometimes if it's like a business person, someone's like a startup, I'll prepare questions. But for this, I felt like I talked to Arthur the other day, and like we kind of had a lot in common. We knew a lot of similar concepts. I thought it'd be fun just let it holistically play out. Greg, you were before we hopped on here, you asked me a question: what pill he is? You want to ask him?
yeah, I'm just curious. Where do you stand in like this sphere? Red pill, black pill. Like, what would you consider yourself?
Are you asking me right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry
you,
about
Arthur.
that.
Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah. So if I could, I'm generally against ideologies, so people want to have groups and communities. That's why it's this pit pill thing is so popular. But I'm always for, like the individual person, and your individual's always above the group. So I do believe some of the red pill concepts are true, for example, but I would never consider myself a red pill. So I would say, if I would describe myself with a pill, it would be the honest pill, and that's like just my invention now spontaneously. Because if there's one thing where you
Mhm.
say like, okay, this is 100% what I stand for is truth and honesty. And it doesn't matter whether it's finding the right partner for you, finding the right friends for you, improving your life. If you dedicate yourself to truth, then you will get the best possible outcome, my opinion. And the interesting thing is that what the red pill is actually that, because the red pill comes from truth, right? In the movie, he offers them the red pill, blue pill, and the red pill is the truth. And that's where that came from. So the red pill was originally actually a bunch of scientists and man rights activists who said, "Oh, look, men are working 70 hours per week, and they're dying at dangerous jobs. Nobody gives a shit, and feminists want fucking equal pay. Like that's not fair." Because they were raising the numbers up. And so I'm 100% on board with this. But later, red pill became more um like status, money, looks kind of thing, right? Where it's like, okay, this only thing that women care about. And there, I'm kind of not on board anymore, because I think it is true to a certain extent. But if you look at the studies, for example, then there's a great book. It's called The Evolution of Desire, written by an American evolutionary psychologist, David Buss. And it's basically one of the biggest studies about sexual behavior ever done.
Oh,
And they
interesting.
say, okay, the main factor women decide their partner after is resources, money. Okay, so it's basically, yeah, okay, they confirm the red pill, right?
Gold diggers.
Gold, yes. So that was kind of
Damn.
shocking. But then one very important thing, as equally important as resources, is resource potential. So say you're 25, you're broke, but you're studying fucking medicine in Harvard, you know, you'll be still seen as attractive because you're going to probably, have resources in the future. And that's just what the red pill misses, for example. They just say, oh, money, money, money. It's like, no. There's also something that's called resource potential, for
So it's like
example.
a lot of times red pillers will say that the girls wait at the finish line for the
Resource
winner. You're
potential.
saying they might
No,
also.
yeah, I mean, it's true to the thing that they actually do. Like, if you look at the facts, is they check out your behavior.
Mhm.
And because you can fake money, you can go like get a Ferrari for one night and go to a fucking nightclub. And so that's they don't really decide for the Ferrari, except for if they're like super gold digging. But they look for confidence in the end, because confidence usually equals status. If
Mhm.
you're at the top of the food chain, then you're gonna be confident because you don't care what other people think, because you're the fucking leader. So that does make sense. But I think it's more important that you have behavior that, even if you're broke now, you can get to a place where you have high status. So, and that's actually more important than the status itself, because you could be a millionaire son who's a complete deadbeat, and he's gonna drink that money to death within a year. And you have no behavior, you have no competence, you have nothing. I don't think you're gonna be attractive to women long term like that.
I
So
agree with that.
that's kind of my problem with the red pill.
I mean, I can say from my own
Yeah,
experience,
that's kind of fair. It's a fair
I
assessment.
I'm not the best at keeping girls right now. I'm working on that, improving my interpersonal skills. But
Yeah.
when I tell girls like, "Hey, I'm broke, but I have a startup," they actually are very intrigued by that. I will straight up tell girls like, "I'm frugal. I say I'm the classic arc of the broke entrepreneur, struggling entrepreneur." And it actually confirms exactly what Arthur is saying, that they go, "Okay, this guy's working towards a big goal. He's broke right now, but that does not kill their interest. They're actually still very interested in knowing I'm an entrepreneur. They hear about my startup idea, and they're very like, oh, this sounds promising." So I agree with you. I think that showing promise is as valuable as already succeeding.
Yeah, absolutely. And then look, I mean, it's also if you look at like the kind of, let's take like the historical kind of old movies, right, where you have like the hero, whatever. Yes, sometimes they have high social status, but they kind of stand for something higher than that, right? So they, yeah, sometimes they're billionaires, successful, whatever, but a lot of times they, let's say, let's take a very like simple example, like the movie Gladiator, right? So he starts out with high status, his life gets fucking torn apart, but he beats himself, like, no, he fights his way back into freedom, so he becomes a hero. So I think that is actually way more important than just having a position of status, and that's exactly the difference, between the guy who's a hero and the guy who just has like money for whatever reason.
Okay.
So yeah.
Where do you draw? So kind of veering off, but where do you draw the line on
Yeah.
the honesty? Like, should you be honest at all costs? Is there a time it's appropriate to lie?
No, it's not. Because the thing is that when you start to lie once, I mean, everybody lies, don't get me wrong. We do it all the time. But if you consciously make the decision and you know it's wrong, right? You feel like your nervous system's gonna tell you. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel guilty.
Yeah.
You're fucking bullshitting people. Um, it's not good. I've done some crazy shit. I've said things where people really threaten to kill me for it, like literally.
Can you give me a
Uh,
story?
huh?
Can you give me an example?
Damn.
You want the political
Jesus.
correct answer, or you want the unfiltered truth?
I
Because
want the red, hard, gonna get me canceled story.
okay, I will give it to you.
Good
So
to us.
I was in a apartment with a guy from Afghanistan.
Yeah,
He
tell us.
grew up with the Taliban actually, and I was giving chemistry lessons in person back then. And this guy opened the door, and this was like these kind of person, like you look at them, you say hello, they don't smile, they say nothing. So it's like, okay, this guy is fucking psychopath. So I went to his apartment, and I'm seeing his wife coming in with like a niqab and everything. So I knew that she's like kind of Muslim, whatever. And I kind of have this Tourette like intrusive thought mind that whatever is inappropriate to think, I think it, right? So I'm like, oh, imagine you lick this woman's vagina with her fucking makeup on her head, right? And then, like, don't get me wrong, I would never do this. These are just like some fucking
No,
intrusive
I just
thoughts.
we all have these thoughts. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so then there's this like a disabled kid coming into the fucking living room, right? And I'm thinking, oh, imagine you kick this fucking kid against the wall and you would rape it or something. And again, I'm not a fucking child predator, or never do it. And then I spoke it out, like I told her, and I said, I was super like, like careful with it. I said, like, look, I just want to be honest. I want to speak my mind. These are intrusive thoughts. I know they're bullshit. I'll never do them. And she told her husband, and the husband came in, and he was like, what the fuck did you talk to my wife? And I was like, look, man, I'm sorry, I would never do it. And he was like, listen. So I was alone with him in his apartment, right? He's like, listen, I'm going to go to the kitchen. I will take a knife, and we're going to cut your throat. And he was like he was that serious, right? And I was like, okay, I was like already planning how to defend myself and shit against this guy. Nothing happened. I got a huge amount of shitstorm because I loaded up a video on YouTube about that. They deleted it because yeah, they said, you can't upload shit like that. I've seen other videos where they didn't delete it. So I don't know, but it's the thing is, like, if you think about it like in a very drastic way, let's say I'm a really dangerous person, like I don't even think about it, think like I actually want to go out and harm people. um Even then, it would be better if I tell you the truth, right? It would be better for you, it would be better for society. Like, probably I'm gonna pay a price, but for people around me, it's probably going to be better. So
Right. Honesty is the core of a good society. Now, did you tell this woman your thoughts out of like the promise to yourself of this honest masculinity thing, or like what was your reason for telling her?
no, the thing was this, just like I grew up as a person, I was just like very dishonest, and I was hiding basically everything about myself that could draw negative attention. And then I just started speaking everything out, and that was kind of the end game. Like the stuff I told you, that's like the most horrific shit that ever happened to me. Probably, I wanted to fucking die in that situation. But that's why I did it, because I was like, look, like, okay, I have this thought, like, okay, what's going to happen if I speak it out? Let's see, like, kind of an experiment kind of thing,
Okay. So you wanted to see what would happen.
Say again?
You wanted to see what would happen.
Yes, exactly. I want to see what happens. And also you get rid of that shame, right? Because basically shame means you feel like there's a part of you that's bad or whatever. And sometimes that's appropriate. Like if I go smash your girlfriend and I'm ashamed, like that's an appropriate shame reaction. But still, best thing would probably to tell you, so, and not hide it. So,
honestly, I get where you're getting at. I wouldn't go to that extreme. I'm also Greg. Feel free to chime in. Don't think I have to say what you want to say, Greg.
Yeah, it's like very laggy. I don't know. Is it choppy on your end? But like it's like laggy as hell. So is it better? Okay, just stop lagging. They're cutting in and out. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I think I fixed the issue. Okay, go on.
Yeah. How can you be on TikTok, by the way, if you're like against this whole cancel culture thing? Because I felt like TikTok, you just say like super mundane things and just delete your video.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I think I have started self-censoring myself, which like to me is compromising my integrity, and I'm not happy about it. But I look at it as an ends justify the means situation. Like as you know, you're not going to be able to go on these major platforms saying whatever you want to say, just how it is. So my goal is to build fame, not because I want to be famous, because I want to be influential and help people. So for the ends, the means, I have to censor a little bit, which is not good because I'm now being disingenuous, which gets to what you're saying, which I agree with. And a big thing I hate about the pickup community, you watch certain channels or buy certain courses, they'll tell you, like John Anthony Lifestyle will say, tell the girl you're a DJ, or you just moved to this.
John Anthony Lifestyle.
And that's dishonest. That is lying. I don't like that. I want to, because then the girls, you go back to the house, or a lot of them say to pull girls home, you tell them, oh, I have an after party, and you pull them back, just you and her, and you try to do the deed. I'm not a fan of that, because now she gets back, and now you're disingenuous, you're inconsistent. You said there's a party, there's no one there. You said you're a DJ, you're not, and then you get her number. She's like, oh, when you DJ, and never. So with women and pickup, I'm against lying 100%. With just speaking my mind all the time, I probably wouldn't go that far. But I get you were kind of testing the waters, like what will happen.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because it's the complete counterintuitive to think to do, because people these days, they say don't make anybody feel uncomfortable, and don't hurt anybody, and then I'm come along and speaking shit like that, obviously that gets very extreme pushback. But I also see that I've lost jobs for saying things like, hey, if you're a woman and you're a feminist, you can go out and approach men too, if that's what you want to do. Like literally, not like demanding, but just like encouraging them, because they told me that's what I want to do. And I was like, look, okay, you want to approach guys, you're not sure if you should do it. You're a feminist, you want equality. Why don't you go out and do it?
Could do it.
3 hours later, lost the fucking job. So it's so crazy where you cannot have any boundary anymore, like what's appropriate to say, what's not appropriate to say. You can say some super normal things, and they're just gonna fuck you up if they don't like it in certain places. Yeah, unfortunately. But I feel like YouTube is very very, very fair. If you like the stuff I said, could probably, if you upload this uncensored, might get deleted, might not get deleted. If you put age restriction on it, probably won't get deleted.
That's probably what I'll do, because it's
going. Yeah, I don't think they would delete it. Yeah, no.
We're streaming to YouTube, and also my channel's not big enough that it's going to be like, usually it gets deleted because people report it, and I don't think I have enough people on here to read.
He's not the next Sneeko, so
at least not yet. Hey, I'm the next.
You're closer on TikTok to being Sneeko, so I will say that.
I'm the next Andrew Tate, maybe.
I'm so like I'm against canceling people, but Sneeko was a toxic fuck.
Why do you say that?
Dude, I mean, he was so angry, at women, and I
Yeah.
just like every video I saw him in the end was like, collect him like Pokemons or yeah, like he was putting these girls on freeze and be like, oh, I'm obnoxious and whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, some girls are obnoxious bitches, you don't want to be around them. But I
Mhm.
felt like in his world, he was so resentful towards them. Like I could feel that all this hurt, all the negative experiences he had before going into that direction, you kind of want to pay back that and go on the other extreme and be like, okay, now I'm gonna hurt you, motherfuckers, because that's what people
Wow.
tend to do when they're resentful. They say like, okay, now you're getting the fucking payback. Like all the hurt when I was young and you were going for the fucking quarterback, and now I have the attention. I'm gonna use it to make you pay for it.
Do
And
you know what happened to Sneeko with his girlfriend?
no, what happened?
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus
dude,
Christ.
it's off. So his Joker origin story. Hey, and I'll tell you, he's got one. Basically, had some thought. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm looking for jobs in investment. He had some girl who was less than classy, and she convinced him to watch her be plowed by another man.
Cut
That
culture.
you watch him what?
Be
Cuck,
plowed.
like another guy's fucking yeah.
So he had to sit there and watch it. And like this is before he got red pilled, quote unquote. He basically is like he acted like it was normal. He didn't realize what happened to him. He's like, yeah, my girlfriend one time, like we decided to experiment. I watched one of my best friends, be with her. And then like as you watch him kind of grow into learn the red pill, and Andrew Tate took him on, he really realized like, holy shit, this degenerate girl, she cheated on me. Not only she cheated on me, but she convinced me to let my friend do it. And she got me to watch, and like that's so bad. So
Yeah.
I actually agree with you, Arthur, that she's sorry, not she, that Sneeko was very angry towards women, and that's not good. Like I don't think the solution is being angry and hating them.
No,
Because you can't hate, you shouldn't hate female nature. Like it's just female nature, right? But it's also like I think there's also a point that the community has where in today's day and age it is different. We have a real issue with any girl is good looking, she goes on social media. Before you know it, she's got famous rich guys hitting in her DMs, and it's purely an exposure issue. Where it's not because women are evil, right? That's where I differ. I don't think women are evil. I think it's actually a logical. Women are logical beings, just like we are. Imagine if we had a bunch of hot women in our DMs telling us, "Let me fly you out. Let me, do this."
yeah, I would do it, of course. Yeah,
Only Chad
absolutely.
would have that.
So we have a system that's set up to encourage really degenerate behavior. And these beautiful women, I mean, come on, they got 100 guys who are high value. Let's say they deny 99% of guys, and 1,000 guys DM them. Shit, right? That's 10 guys right there that are going to succeed. So it's a bad setup.
But the thing is, like, I've heard Jordan Peterson say recently that I've done studies about it, and they found that like female hyper users of Instagram are also the ones who are promiscuous, right? So the
Repeat what you said.
no, they found they did studies about it. They found that like hyper users of Instagram on the female side, they're narcissistic, and they are promiscuous. Because most of the people are a lot on social media have some narcissistic tendencies because narcissists want to be in attention all the time. I have narcissistic tendencies, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But it's not all of the women, like not every woman is narcissistic, right? Not all of them need fucking 5,000 Instagram likes and 100 of people sliding into their DMs to feel good about themselves. And then also the more I get into like some the girls I see who have like 300 DMs, they're complete trash, man. They don't have their life under control. They take drugs, go partying every weekend. It's like, do you want to have a girl like that? I don't know, So
Right.
I've also met some hot quality women who are not like that, and we have both sides of it,
It seems like the issue's getting worse though, because like it's a chicken and egg thing, right? So is narcissistic women going on Instagram, or is Instagram turning them into these narcissistic promiscuous women? I think it's the latter. I think that it's the latter. I think that Instagram is creating a society that's just not sustainable, where girls, again, like to me, where I differ from red pill guys is they'll be like, oh, women are just evil. No, I see they're logical beings, and if the flip if the switch was flipped and we could get that kind of attention, we'd do the same thing. So it's just like it's a bad setup. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I just know that, for example, my ex-girlfriend, right? I met her when I was starting my business and all of that, and obviously then I was exposed to a lot of like red pill content. And she had Christian values. She was 40, so actually 15 years older than me. I was 25 back then, but I kind of liked the whole MILF thing, so
Nice.
and she has slept in her life with, I think, 7 men, like in fucking 40 years. So the 2 to 3 months before I met her, I've slept with more women than she did in like 3 to 4 years. And she was hot. She wasn't bad looking, but she wasn't on social media. She didn't have Instagram. Never had an Instagram account. No social media platform except for Facebook. And on Facebook, she had a fucking emoji as her profile picture. So probably no guy sliding into her DMs there too. And I mean, okay, she had her issues and whatever, but still, I believe there are girls like this out there. Obviously, she was kind of from a different generation because she was that old. So if you look at girls sort of in their 20s, obviously most of them are going to have an Instagram account, and a lot of them just have a ton of DMs if they have like more or less good pictures. And then also, I think you have the issue that we have this millennial generation who's entitled anyhow. Like all of us, and just the girls, the guys too. We grew up in a society was like, oh, you can have anything you want. You don't be uncomfortable. You're super special. And also you can become anyone you want. And then you grow up and it's like, oh shit, like no, you have to pay for stuff you want. And it's like a social issue, but I feel like men who have this mentality is like, oh, all women are narcissistic. They're all they all go on yachts every weekend. It's just an excuse to
cope.
To not
To
pursue.
cope.
Yeah, to
Nice.
cope too. Yeah, absolutely. So
don't you think like it's becoming it's a compounding progressive, like it's getting worse, like there's more and more, like just because a woman's beautiful she's getting sucked into this, or you think it's inherently just narcissistic women are doing it and they would be narcissistic regardless of the society?
And one thing the red pill also misses, which is pretty clear by the literature, is yes, women want high status men, but they also want someone who's investing in them. Usually, not all, but the average woman. That's why monogamy is so popular, right? Because they get the investment for a guy. Again, some women go monogamous and they cheat on their husband with some multimillionaire, but it's not the norm. Like most women
most women can be trusted and are loyal. Is that your belief?
Yeah, there are. I mean, the data is pretty clear on it. So, and that's, I think the reason is one, cultural. We kind of force it on people, But then if you look at it from a biological perspective, they want, if you have a multimillionaire guy who has 6 other women, he's just going to say, why should I invest in you? Like, I don't care. I can have another woman, like, bye. And you're the woman, you're fucking pregnant. You have to take care of the child now. And as humans, we have a lot of like investment for a kid. So women want a lot of investment from men to be able to raise the kid. And so I think that's why a lot of women want like a stable monogamous relationship, also for like raising the children, because they have that security then. Which you don't get.
You think men cheat more or women cheat more?
Women cheat more.
Women.
Yeah, no, I know. Women cheat more, but it's obvious because women have more sexual opportunities.
Right.
They have more options.
It's that's like it's kind of obvious to me. Most men have a very hard time getting laid. You probably know this too, right? So
no, I agree. I just wanted to add real quick, because you guys talk about Sneeko. I think Sneeko is also problematic because Fresh and Fit. I think Fresh and Fit is like a terrible show, and a lot of people follow them. They have and it's the same thing. They hate women. Like women say some cap. No, you're a this, that. And then if they don't like you, they kick you out of the studio. Myron and Fresh, they'll just be like, get the fuck out of the studio. So I think it's like very toxic for like guys to just watch Fresh and Fit. I just wanted to add that in there. Yeah.
Well, John Anthony Lifestyle points this out too, that the Fresh and Fit guys, they talk about how evil women are. It was a video that got viral recently where Modern Gaines was saying, or whatever his name is, he was saying how he's like, bro, you don't want to date a 9 or a 10. They're all bimbos. They're all stupid. I'm not saying this is what he said. They're all stupid. They're all dumb. Do you know what it's like to come home from a hard day's work and she's on Instagram? You're like, babe, can you cook me dinner? And she's like, no, I have to post on Instagram, right? So he's basically painting them all to these dumb, evil, egocentric bitches. And John Anthony pointed out, like, if you focus on that and you project out you think women are evil, of course they're not going to want you. So I agree with that. I think it's very negative. I think that the guys that get I noticed this in my own life. I had a time, a period of my life where I was more negative towards women, and they were repulsed by it. Like, women are really intuitive. They can really pick up on nonverbal cues and your feelings and your vibe. And if you hate them, and if you think they're evil and they're this and all these negative attributes, they're not going to want you. You're going to manifest that. But if you think, women are so fun. They're so fun. They're so pretty. I really enjoy their company. They'll pick up on that, and the reverse will happen. They'll want to be around you.
Yeah, and I mean, also, if you're resentful towards women, there's also versions of the other thing around you. I'm sure you've met them, right? Women who have fucking toxic view of men.
Oh,
these are the ones you approach them, and you're like, oh, do you talk to any guy like that, or shit like that? You just like push you down for no reason, right? So these women are gonna be the ones that you end up with when you have this mindset. Me personally, I guess I have a positive mindset about women, and usually the women I attract, they treat me good. I treat them good, they treat me good. We both have a healthy view. We both I want to support them, they want to support me. Of course, there's certain boundaries, there's certain things I'm not gonna do. But in the end, I will do my best to support her. I don't have any resentment or hate towards her. And same way around, right? Like the women I meet, they're super chill. They like who they are. They have no hate. They're not like tons of unresolved emotional problems, because I'm on the same level. So the women you meet are kind of also a reflection of who you are.
Let me ask you, Arthur, what was the turning point for you when you went from not having trouble with women to having feel like you're getting along well with women? Was this recently? How did it happen? What's the story?
It was very quickly. So, I started this whole pickup thing like around COVID, and I wasn't really able to do it a lot. But I kind of disobeyed to most of the COVID rules.
Me too. Hey, high five! Yeah.
No, I was pissed because my mom, she opened a second clothing store back then, and she had to go lockdown, and lost tens of thousands of euros and nearly went bankrupt. And I was just like, this is so wrong. Like, why is the government just deciding that without compensating her for it? So I was like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna do what I want. But yeah, then I didn't have any success for like 1.5 years. And dude, that was a horrific period. I was fucking crying my eyes out at home, jerking off 3 days, 3 times a day at times, to fucking get the dopamine hit to distract me from the fact that I'm just like failing and failing and failing. Yeah, then I had just one really hot girl coming home with me, and shortly after I met my girlfriend. So I actually didn't had that much experience with women yet, because I quickly went to that relationship. But now I'm single again. I'm not as needy anymore. So before I had my girlfriend, I was super horny, right? Because I didn't have sex for like 4 years.
And you're a man. You're in your prime. You gotta get the energy out.
Yes, exactly. And so I think they smelled that desperation. And now I'm more like, I genuinely don't care if you like me or not. So, and I felt like that made a big difference, where now most women that I really want, they're gonna at least give me their number. I mean, it's not going to work out anytime, but I'm doing relatively okay now. And I think the turning point was when you're just at the point where you feel okay with who you are, bad parts, positive parts, and just say, okay, I'm fine the way I am. And then you're gonna send that also when you pre-selected by 1-2 hot women.
Pre-selection is powerful. Very powerful.
Yeah, that kind of spins you upwards, I think, too. Because then when you meet another hot woman, you're like, yeah, I already won one. I already had bunch of you, so they're not that special anymore. And they feel that too, I guess. So yeah.
Cool.
That's interesting. Actually, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: Wait, Arthur, do you mainly meet women in person? Do you do cold approach, or do you do like dating apps? I'm actually curious about that.
I actually have no success on dating apps at all. So
Mm.
I get like one like every 2 months. Therefore, I'm forced to
Mm.
meet them in real life.
Mm.
Yeah, I meet them anywhere. I mean, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend like 3 months ago, and then
Mhm.
I took a break for like a month or so, and now I'm 2 months back into the dating game. Didn't have any
Mhm.
success so far, really. I mean, I went on a bunch of nice dates and was close to taking one home, but my motivation is also not that high because I'm working like 60 hours a week at the moment. So
Oh.
yeah, but now I'm like getting a bit into it again, and I meet him anywhere. Today I met a chick in that was like, I'm getting money from the government because my business is not at a like level where I can live from it yet. And she was sitting next to me and smiling at me, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And like start talking to her, and she just texted me back an hour ago. So let's see where it
Mhm.
goes with her.
Nice. Yeah, I can see you're very
Yeah.
calm. You seem very grounded, which is
Yeah.
if you're too antsy, you're too like projecting that you want the girl so badly, it turns them
Mhm.
off. They feel like, hey, what's up? Like the way you just said that, like I bet she was probably interested.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
funny thing is, back when I had lesser experience than now with women, I was like super, trying to force the conversation. And with her, for example, when I felt like I was talking a lot and there's not a lot of things coming back, I would just go silent. Like, okay, let's see. Like, if you're giving me something, if not, I'm gonna fucking
Mhm.
leave. And then they suddenly start asking you questions, because they feel it that you're like, like, are you in this? Where are you? Like, are you in the conversation? Are you
Mhm.
not? And then they're
I've
coming.
had the same issue where I try to overcompensate by blah 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 blah. Blah.
Yeah,
It's actually it's counterintuitive, but it works way better to say your piece, pause. Now, multiple. You also want to do multi-threading, which is like having multiple pieces of the conversation. Talk about her dog, about the Starbucks you're at.
sure.
About
Yeah.
whatever. But being comfortable with pauses and like it's okay to make it her turn to talk. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think a lot of guys don't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's also a question of social skills. Like, there's nothing worse than a fucking mono talk.
Mm.
Of course, if
Yeah.
she's kind of shy, you have to do a bit of more talking in the beginning. But at some point, it should be like kind of an exchange of,
Yeah.
yeah, it shouldn't be an interview or you giving a fucking
Interviews or
presentation.
you want to be self amusement, right? So like just be having fun with it, saying nonsense.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you learn with practice, and also if you like a lot of men, especially with the red pill shit now, they try to hide their vulnerability, right? Like if you approach a woman in a random situation, you're gonna be vulnerable. You're gonna be in a spot where you can be
Yeah.
embarrassed, where things can get uncomfortable, you feel hurt, whatever. So that's the definition of vulnerability. And once you accept that, we're like, you know what, like, okay, shit can get uncomfortable. I might get embarrassed, rejected, and as soon as you accept that, it becomes less of an issue.
And
So
by the way, Greg might be able to, if you're interested, he might be able to help you with Tinder. He's pretty good at getting your profile up and
What?
and
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I actually learned from Alex. I can definitely help you with profile. I wanted to add one thing. So like, kind of, I was going back to playing with Fire Channel. Alex talks about like kind of like sexualizing, but doing it like very gradual with the woman. And like when you're talking, to like slow down your speech a little bit, kind of like pause and just like build sexual tension. Like it actually works. But yeah, I can help with like Tinder profiles, like photos, stuff like that. Like maybe if you have like a professional photographer near you, it might be worth taking professional photos.
yeah.
it like tripled my matches. I got professional photos
But
done with
yeah,
like real camera instead of
I
my
can help
iPhone.
with text game too, but I'm not a dating coach. Just like, I'm just kind of like a, guy who knows a thing or two about a thing or two. I just wanted to preface that. But yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I can help you out if you're interested.
Thanks, man.
Of course.
Well,
Always happy to help. I like helping people. Yeah.
what else, Arthur, do you preach besides very strong honesty? Or is that
Um,
the core of your channel?
well, good question. Like a lot of things.
And you
I
mentioned
guess.
earlier, or I took some notes. You mentioned, sorry, emotional wounds and childhood trauma. So I would love to like
Oh
dive.
yeah, absolutely, that's a big one.
Mm.
A lot of people who struggle with dating in general have some unresolved emotional baggage, right? Maybe they got bullied in school, like parents abused them,
Mhm.
and they just internalize their belief that they're shit. You know, when I was a kid, my both of my parents abused me, like hit me, fucking like locking me inside a room for an hour and being like, okay, you have to eat 3 kilograms of chocolate now
Jesus.
because you ate too much before and now you eat it until you fucking throw up. And yeah, I mean, obviously, then the problem with it is that you learn from a very early time that the person who you're dependent on is not safe for you. You know, I actually kind of like stole that from an Hamza interview I recently saw,
Huh.
but it's actually 100% true. So you learn, okay, the world is unsafe. People hurt me, and therefore I have to be yeah, I have to avoid anything dangerous because I'm just gonna get hurt again. And then you start mistrusting people too, right? You're gonna meet the women and you'd be like, oh shit, like is she is she gonna play games with me? Is she gonna hurt me? And that's just super toxic. So you need to have like a trusting relationship when you want to like develop a healthy relationship. So that's a lot of thing, like diving into that emotional like thing, and then also learning to set boundaries because of that, because a lot of people will turn to nice guys, right? They will say, oh, I'm shit, and therefore I have to beg for the woman's attention so I can feel better about myself.
You don't.
You don't? Yeah, you already figured that out. That's a good one.
How do you? How you mentioned you're describing the wounds? How have you fixed them? Or how do you suggest someone else fixes the childhood trauma?
Yeah, so you have to dig into it. You have to like relive it in your mind. That's also gonna do what they're gonna do with you if you go to therapy.
Face the dragon, right?
Yeah, that's actually the answer that kind of answers all of it. You have to face your fears too, because you're gonna be afraid of things that are not really that problematic, right? And these things most of the times, like social exclusion or whatever, or that people disapprove of you. And that's where the kind of the honesty things come into play again, because once you say out things that might people dislike you, draw negative attention to you, you face that fear of that you had developed in your childhood, that your parents disapprove of you. Because when you're a kid, if your parents disapprove, if they leave you, you're dead.
Right. Yeah,
That's
so
simple.
you're
And
dependent.
people, yeah, you're dependent, and people bring that mentality into their adult life. They're not dependent on other people anymore. They're self-reliant, but they still believe they're dependent, and that's exactly the reason why they become needy and dependent on the other person, is because they believe they fucking die without that person. And that's not healthy. And you fix it with vulnerability, honesty, facing your fears, and that's going to take you a very long way. And then also developing healthy habits, taking care of yourself,
I'm a big habit guy. I think having good habits like make your bed, keep your room clean, they make a big difference in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if every time you do something good for yourself, whether it's like eating healthy, working out, reading books that might be good for you, they're gonna reinforce the belief that you're good. You find the way you are. That's basically the word here.
Gotcha. Cool.
I'm muted. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize I was muted.
Yeah, I mean, I like the answer. You pretty much answered what I was trying to get at. Like the face of the dragon. Something Jordan Peterson talks about. The dragon keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger until you face it. So everyone has different trauma. Maybe
Yep.
parents,
Yeah.
could be sexual trauma, could be physical, could be a long list of things. But I think when you avoid it, you don't address it. You actually keep reliving the same trauma over and over again. So a lot of people, I think, just keep reliving the same trauma because they didn't learn their lessons. Like
I'll be right back. You don't have to take me off, Jared. I'm just
okay. So girls keep getting in abusive relationships, or guys keep getting in relationships where they get cheated on because it happened once, and it's like they want to relive it subconsciously until they really address, like, hey, this terrible thing happened to me, and how now once you address it and face it, you can learn from it. But you have to address it and face it to learn from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's part of human life that, you enter relationships or situations where you can get hurt. That's just you're vulnerable in every dimension you could think of. You can die tomorrow, be hit by a bus. That's vulnerability, and it's just you have to face that. You can't just like sit at home, be like, oh, I'm gonna stay where it's safe. Because the interesting thing is also most people die while they're laying in bed,
Really,
so
that makes sense. Like in their
it's
own bed.
actually more dangerous for you to stay in a situation that is safe than to face danger.
I agree. I like that. It's lagging a little bit. Hold on. I don't know if maybe my Wi-Fi's. I can't hear you now.
No?
Hold on. Yeah, you're back.
Should hear me now. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I had to plug my ring light off because my battery is running low on my laptop, but
You're
the
good.
MacBook
I'm
only
gonna
has
end.
two. Say again?
I said I was gonna wrap this up in a minute or so. Anyway, it's been about 45 hour. So yeah, man. I guess any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to share? Add?
Not really so far. So I mean, just like thank you for having me. Was this live, by the way?
Yeah, I mean there was like one viewer because I never go live. It's the first time I actually did this, but I'm gonna go into the creator studio and probably edit it later.
Okay. And you gonna upload it on which platforms exactly?
So it's gonna be on my YouTube channel, Goals First Podcast, and then it will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts under Goals First.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, let me know when you publish it. And again, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, are you just on YouTube or is there anywhere else you want to shout out?
I'm on Instagram too. So yeah, if you want, you can tag me on Instagram.
So what Honest Masculinity also on Instagram?
Yeah, same name.
All right, perfect. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I enjoyed talking to you. We'll have to do it again.
Okay, thanks. See you.
All right.
Peace.